Welcome back. We're joined now by North Carolina Republican Mark Meadows. He is the chairman of the conservative House Freedom Caucus. His group was very much opposed, well, that's putting it mildly, to last week's budget agreement. Congressman, thanks for being with us.
Great to be with you, Major.
So, a lot of spending and declarations that means the death now, or is the House Freedom Caucus is toast?
Well, I think we've had a number of articles written about our demise for many, many years, and yet we're still here fighting on behalf of the millions of Americans who feel like Washington, D.C. Has forgotten them. But I can tell you the real problem with this particular one is that our leadership caved. The swamp won and the American taxpayer lost, and there's no other way to...
The Republican leadership
without
caved.
a doubt. I mean, without a doubt. Our original play was to make sure that we funded the military. We kept other spending flat. That's what we passed, and yet what we got put on the House floor just a few hours later was this unbelievable budget deal that spent American taxpayer dollars.
We got to go to break, but you said leadership. Do you want the Speaker's job?
No, I don't want the Speaker's job, but I think that at this particular point, we have to have some real soul searching on what's going on.
Congressman, we're going to take a quick break. I just warned you about that, but we've got a lot more questions when we come back. Welcome back to Face the Nation. I am Major Garrett. As promised, we continue our conversation with North Carolina Republican Mark Meadows, chair of the House Freedom Caucus, conservative side of the Republican.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
You've also been mentioned, Congressman, a lot of jobs. Chief of Staff, President of the United States. You want that job?
You know, really, General Kelly is doing a great job, and contrary to a lot of the headlines that are out there, I can tell you that I don't believe his job's in jeopardy. I know that the President has not spoken to me or Mick Mulvaney about replacing him. In fact, quite the opposite. In my conversations with the President, he has expressed confidence in General Kelly, and certainly he's brought order and responsibility to the White House.
One thing I have heard about General Kelly is that he is not as adept in politics as perhaps a chief of staff should be. Do you worry about that?
Nor should he be. He was a general. I mean, and so, it's incumbent upon a lot of us.
From your point of view, is that an important part of the job?
Well, it's an important part of the job, but I think it's incumbent upon all of us to make sure that we give him the political backdrop that maybe some of these decisions are being made. I know that he's reached out to me a number of times on a number of different issues, and so he's not managing in a vacuum. He's truly trying to make sure that the President gets the best information. I believe he does that.
Could the President have fought harder on this budget deal?
Well, I think the President was faced with a choice.
Were you expecting him to fight
I
harder?
was expecting him to continue to push back on draining the swamp, but yet he was given a binary choice: either you support the military and support this particular budget, or you don't. And I can tell you that that's not the choice that many of us on Capitol Hill believed was before us. It was either supporting the military or continuing what I would say the traditions of the Senate. At some point, we're going to have to say, Mitch McConnell, enough is enough, 51 votes on anything that is of national security interest. It is time that we change this. The American people, your viewers right now, could care less about the traditions of the Senate.
And
they do care about their pocketbook. And what we've done is we've actually taken money from them to grow the size of government by almost 13%. You know, Major, I can't believe it.
Without putting too fine a point on it, how deep is the swamp now?
Well, the swamp is obviously deeper, but when you look at $300 billion over a 10-year period, you know, it makes even a drunken sailor blush. And the problem with that is the drunken sailor actually spent his own money. We've got the government spending yours.
Immigration.
Yeah.
Bottom line for House Freedom Caucus, once something comes from the Senate, what must it have to get through the House of Representatives?
Well, the Speaker of the House needs to do what he said he would do, and that is to whip the Goodlatte Labrador bill, put it on the floor, make sure that it passes out of the House. We are the most conservative body, and we've got a bill ready to go. And Chairman Goodlatte...
In other words, the Speaker should not wait for the Senate. Do that now.
Absolutely not. If we're going to wait for the Senate, why don't we all go home, take naps, and wait for 60 senators to decide what we're going to do as a nation. I didn't sign up for that, and most people that elected me didn't want me to sign up for that. So it's critical that we go ahead and work, and that's where you're going to see the Freedom Caucus engaging over the next couple of weeks. We're going to engage and hold our Speaker to his word, which said that he was going to whip the good lap bill and make sure that it has the threshold and then send it to the Senate.
You're very good at this. 15 seconds. What's in the bill? The 4 pillars?
Well, the 4 pillars are in there, but the biggest thing is it puts an emphasis on border security and not creating a special pathway to citizenship.
Very good. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Major.
Great to have you on Face the Nation. We'll be back with our panel. Please stay with us.